The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
All right, good evening, everybody. If all of you can hear me, if you can hear the sound and you can see my screen, you should be seeing a big Spectre.ai logo. If you can see it, if you can just say in the chat, yes, or I can see it, or something to that effect, just so we can confirm you're able to hear us and you're able to see us. Beautiful. Thank you for that confirmation. Welcome to this webinar. I'm Hitesh. I'm the CMO of Spectre, and this will hopefully be one of the most exciting webinars that you've ever been on if you have any interest whatsoever in the world of trading cryptocurrencies, or generating profits from this new industry whatsoever. I have with me the head of business development, Atul Norse, who has decades of experience in this space and is going to be showing us the actual live presentation at the same time. And without taking too much longer, we're going to jump right into some of the details of what Spectre does and what it actually represents for you. Now, as you can probably see from just the little slogan below Spectre.ai, it's the world's first brokerless speculative trading platform. Now, that's a mouthful, and it represents all sorts of fun things in terms of what it means for this industry as a whole and the technology as a whole. But really, the first question that we should be talking about is, what is this space overall? Why is this such an important space, and why is this innovation so important for the world at large? Okay, so currently the largest industry in the world is trading currencies, assets, and so on, basically the world of speculative trading, which represents about 5 trillion USD of transactions every single day. Okay, that's the single largest industry in the world by a long shot. Okay, nothing else even comes close to it. And within the space, you have cryptocurrencies, which are a very small and a very new entrant into the space, but they are extremely popular right now because a lot of people realize that they make this whole industry very accessible to the average person. So actually, before I continue, let me just ask a very quick question. How many on this call have heard of cryptocurrencies and actively thought about, there's probably a way for me to generate profits with cryptocurrencies, or by trading cryptocurrencies, or by trading in general? How many of you have ever tried it or considered it? All right, so practically everyone, we're getting like 100 plus yeses flowing through in what, 5 seconds or so. So all of you have considered, and the same pretty much everybody has, because it is such a massive opportunity for pretty much everyone out there. Now, how many of you have also considered that there are probably some issues or some concerns and some risks that are involved in this that you have to be careful about? All right, so we have a lot of very wise people. You don't just do stuff, you also think about what you're doing and why. Okay, there are some real issues to be addressed that we all have seen in this space. Okay, one simple one that any of you who are in the cryptocurrency space would have picked up on right away is that hodling, which is a typo on holding. It's a very commonly used word in the cryptocurrency space, is not really that good of a strategy anymore. Right? That's the concept that you just buy a currency or you buy an asset and you just hold on to it and you don't let go, and you wait until eventually its value rises enough that you generate something off of that. How many of you have tried this or heard of this or thought about this? Okay, so a lot of you. Great. So look, here's the problem with the strategy. It works somewhat in a very, very new industry, but when it starts maturing, when the market starts maturing, it doesn't work quite that well. Also, when you don't know how long you're going to be in a trade, it presents a lot of liquidity risks. For example, you guys don't want to really tie up all of your funds in one trade or one asset in hopes that it's going to do really well, right? That's a very risky thing to do. You are basically tying up your funds, and there's no real way to know when you will eventually get out of that trade. So if there's an emergency, or there's, for whatever reason you want to pull out of the trade, you could potentially take pretty significant losses in that scenario. On top of that, you have broker side risks. Okay, and in the cryptocurrency side, you've heard of the exchange side risks, right? So you have possible fraud, you have hacks that happen, you have withdrawal delays, you have balance sheet risks, like you don't know what's happening on the other side, what's actually happening. You don't know what's happening with the trading data, if they are giving you the wrong impression, and so on. And honestly, I should bring Atul in at this point because he has a lot of experience working on the broker side, so he can probably regale us with some amazing stories of the kind of crazy stuff that he has seen out there. But are any of you familiar with some of these risks? Do you understand why this is something that you have to be careful with, why this is a pretty significant issue in the space of trading? All right, again, a whole lot of you. It's like we have the smartest people in the world right now on this call. So you guys are going to like where we're going with this. Atul, do you want to share some of the things that you have seen so far, just in your experience, and maybe share a little bit of your background as well so everybody can see where you're coming from?
Sure. Absolutely, Hitesh. So, I mean, first of all, good day to all the traders from around the world, and thanks so much for taking time to join us on this first traders webinar. A bit about myself. So I come from a margin FX CFD trading background, and I've been in the space for over 10, 11 years. Worked for some of the largest FX brokers in the world, and also had my own broker before. So I also know a lot of the owners of a lot of the brokers within the space. And on the broker side, the problem and the risk that we find, traders are always concerned where they deposit their funds, and if the broker's regulated, licensed, and whether they, in terms of their price feed and spread manipulation, you find a lot of that once the traders start to make money. So it really becomes a problem for the broker once the trader starts to make money. And what you guys need to understand, in the broker world, there's two types of slippage. One is normal market slippage, which is something which the brokers can't control. It's just down to natural liquidity in the market. And the other one is broker applied slippage. And what this basically is, it's a deliberate setting inside the broker's admin terminal where they will deliberately apply extra slippage to your trades so that the trade goes in their favor. And this practice actually happens in a regulated and in a non-regulated environment. Also, what I've seen before is, traders, they start winning money, and all of a sudden the broker will cancel the trade. Often traders would make huge profits, and the broker would basically go back to them and say that they traded on fake prices, and the traders got no recourse because a lot of this is built into the terms and conditions of the brokers, and it's structured in a way which gives the broker the power to do just that. So we really, and you guys, I'm sure will know, we're in an unlevel playing field. So with that, I'll hand it back to yourself, Hitesh. But that's kind of just giving you guys a quick overview in terms of what sort of problems traders face and how and where they originate from.
Yep, absolutely. And of course, there's just a natural built-in issue of what can you do, because you're putting your funds into somebody else's hands, and you can't, you don't really have real control in that scenario. So I'm sure, Atul, as time goes on, you'll feel more comfortable maybe sharing some of the nightmare stories that you've shared before privately. But on webinars, we have to be careful about how much we can really say about some of the other companies out there. But another big problem that you see on the exchange side, on the open market, is specifically in the cryptocurrency space. Okay, it's not so much in the FX space at large, because that's very, very big space. Liquidity is so high, it's not easy to manipulate it. But on the cryptocurrency side, who here has heard of pump and dump scams? It's essentially a very simple manipulation of the market, because there is such little liquidity in the market that a small group of people can go in and change the prices in the market. So if you, for example, thought that some cryptocurrency, some altcoins price was going to go up, somebody could very easily go and just tank it. They can just dump the token on the market and make the price go down. Or they could come in and create a fake demand in the market by purchasing it together. And that's something that actually happens quite commonly. It even happens with very small stocks, with penny stocks and things like that. So that's actually another concern as well. And that's one of the big reasons why the whole industry is beginning to mature to the point saying, maybe it's not such a good idea for the average person to get in here and start trading on these kind of scenarios or in these kind of markets, because things can change so quickly. So the solution to all of this is essentially in what we call smart options. Okay, and smart options is exactly what Spectre has come up with and what Spectre is designed to do. And this is what the blockchain technology lets us do. Okay, and this is how all of these issues are resolved. Yeah, go ahead, Atul.
So sorry to interrupt. I think another important point to add for the guys on the webinar is just on the pump and dump side of things. Nowadays, you actually get companies which provide a specific service. It sounds crazy, but they actually provide a service where they would basically offer their services to ICOs to specifically pump the price of the token up, where they go and do that basically on a fake basis. And actually, I was in Singapore about a month and a half ago, where I actually met two companies which provide this sort of service, and it just seems crazy that they actually provide a service where they would deliberately pump and dump the price of the actual token. So I thought I'd just mention that, because you did mention that point, and just so that everyone is aware of exactly how it works and how rife it is out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. Like I said, there has been a certain level of corruption that even gets institutionalized anymore. It is really kind of crazy, the world that we are in, but also why these kind of innovations happen, right? That in a way, it's because of all these terrible things that have been happening that the founders of Spectre came together and said, yeah, we can actually build a solution to this whole problem in the form of smart options. So I'm going to walk very quickly through what smart options do, how they work, how they kind of solve this problem. And then we're actually going to show you guys exactly how these work in a live setting. We're going to have Atul actually demonstrate this happening in real time. So the first thing about smart options is that they are extremely easy to use, okay? And they're called smart options, but honestly, even very not smart people can use them very, very easily, because you don't have to worry about 100 different settings or 1,000 different ways of trading and what your built-in leverage is and whatnot. They're actually speculative trades on a prediction model. What that means is that they're basically bets, okay? Bets saying something will go up or down. Now, all of you have basically done this in your life, at any point, at multiple points. You take kind of friendly bets all the time, but who do you think is going to win the election? Who do you think is going to, what price do you think is going to go up next? Who do you think is going to sell more smartphones next year, Samsung or Apple or who? So you have these kind of bets internally that you're taking all the time. And that's basically what speculative trades look like. You're taking a bet saying, do I think the price of Bitcoin is going to go up? Do I think the price of Ethereum is going to go up? Do I think the price of USD is going to go up in relation to another world currency like Euro? You can basically make these kind of speculative predictions and take trades on them. Okay, and very simply, you're choosing, will the price go up or will it go down? Now, immediately you can see one pretty significant difference in this from a standard trade that you probably see on an exchange. On an exchange, you don't really have a tool to say, if you believe that the price of a particular currency is going to go down, let's say you think that some altcoin's price is going to go down, you don't really have a tool there to be able to go in and take a trade saying, I believe this will go down, I want to short it. In most cases, you're kind of stuck with a very limited option, which is buy the thing you think you're going to go up. Okay, that's how majority of the people are forced to trade. But this is actually a tool where you can benefit from even a currency's price going down. So when you know through technical analysis or through fundamental analysis, you know that something is going to go down, you can actually still profit from that as well. The second big benefit is that you have defined expiry times, and those can be very, very short even. You can actually know before you initiate a trade that this trade is going to last 5 minutes or 15 minutes or an hour or 2 days, whatever it may be. You actually define the end time of the trade beforehand. So you don't get caught in these weird scenarios where you buy a cryptocurrency or you buy an asset and you say, I'm going to hold this because I think its value is going to go up. And then 4 weeks go by or 6 weeks go by, and you're still waiting for that magic moment when you think you're going to get out of the market. And now suddenly you've tied yourself up in liquidity for a much longer time. So you can imagine how that doesn't go over so well. This is a much simpler way of working with it. It just dramatically simplifies how you go in and how you trade. So basically now you go in and say, I think the price of Bitcoin is going to go up in the next hour. And if you're correct, you basically profit. If you're incorrect, you lose the trade. That's how simple this makes the whole process. You don't have to worry about all of the other variables that can actually impact how things play out for you. Third, like I mentioned, these have no impact on the market prices. If you and I take a bet on, do you think Bitcoin's price is going to go up or down? It doesn't impact the price of Bitcoin at all. So this makes it a very safe instrument. of trading, because you are not going to manipulate the market in any way, shape, or form. And in fact, a lot of people taking trades at the same time on Spectre is not going to mess up the prices of these currencies out in the marketplace. So you really don't have to worry about somebody, someone on the outside kind of manipulating things. And finally, you don't have to wait or hope for very high fluctuations in price for you to be able to benefit. So like I said, these are trades where you're simply saying, I believe the price of Bitcoin will be higher than it is right now in the next hour. Okay. Now, this is the beautiful thing. Note that I didn't say that the price of Bitcoin will double in the next 1 hour, or the price of Bitcoin will go up 50% in the next 1 hour. You are simply saying exactly an hour from now, the price of Bitcoin will be higher than it is right now. Whether it's higher by 5 cents or whether it's higher by $500, doesn't matter. You still win your trade. Okay, that means you can actually get very high returns per trade regardless of the price movement. So what I would like to do now, if you guys are kind of looking forward to it, actually, if you are looking forward to it, if you can just say, yes, I really want to see this demo, let's motivate Atul to maybe go ahead and log into the platform and show us how the smart options actually work and why they're so much more easier. So Atul, you clearly have a very excited audience here asking for you to do the demo. So I'm going to give the presentation over to you.
Okay, so here on the left-hand side, we've got trade ideas. This is basically, if it's in orange, it means it's fresh, it's tradable, and if you click on that, it tells you exactly, the desired entry point. And when you click on that, it gives you a brief synopsis of the actual indicator or strategy. And we've actually got a video here where our head trader, I won't play the whole video, but that's where our head trader Zen is actually going in and actually explaining the entry point as well. So here's the chart. We're going to take a 5-minute trade. You can take 1 minute, 5 minute, 15-minute, different time settings here of the chart. So let's just take a 5-minute trade. It's on the USD JPY. And this panel over here, the trade panel with the big up and down arrows, that's all we're doing really. So we just, as Hitesh mentioned, it's really easy. So let's say, I'm going to predict that it's going to go down. Click on the down arrow. It brings up this tab over here. The amount, you've got an option to either enter the amount in Ether value, or you can select percentage. What percent do you want to allocate of your entire account balance? So for this one, we'll do the ETH. Let's just say take a trade of 0.5. So over here at the bottom, it quotes the value in ETH and also in US dollars. And on the right-hand side, you can see exactly how much potential return you will get if the trade is correct. The expiry over here, I'm going to take a 5-minute trade. You've got different options, 5, 10, 15, 60-minute, end of day, etc. But we're going to just take a 5-minute trade on this. And the type of trade is freestyle. I'll go into that in a second. We click enter. So that's one trade it's taken. We'll take a few more. Let's just take AUD JPY. Got a 5-minute chart. And again, all we're doing here is just picking up or down arrows, guys. It's really that easy to be placing trades, on our platform. And for this, let's say, predict it's going to go down in the next 5 minutes. Again, we'll take a size trade of 0.5 ETH. Over here, you can see the dollar value. This potential payout is 71%, and we'll just click enter here. Okay, so one thing to notice over here on top of the, you see your balance. This is your account balance over here on top. It's quoted in Ethereum and in US dollars. And right next to it, you've got the liquidity pool. So this is quoted in Ethereum and in US dollars. And this is very important, guys, because, the problems we were speaking of earlier really comes because, when you're trading with a traditional online binary broker or FX broker, you don't really know what the true value is of their balance sheet. And that's where a lot of problems occur. So, on the Spectre platform, it's 100% transparent. You can see exactly the value of the liquidity pool, and it's totally decentralized. So what that basically means is the trades, and also when you guys deposit, it's all governed by smart contracts. So the inflow and the outflow of the money when you deposit into your account, and the inflow and the outflow of the liquidity pool, it's governed by smart contracts, which means it's totally immutable and we cannot touch or access that. Even if we as a company want to access or steal that funds, it's virtually impossible. So, this is really a first of its kind. There's no broker out there at the moment which actually shows their balance sheet to all of their clients. So this is really a massive leap forward in terms of what the Spectre platform basically brings to the trader community. So if we scroll down, you can see the open trades over here, the positions. You look at the asset type, you can see what asset currency pair you're trading, the direction. It shows you the entry price here. It shows you the entry time and also the time remaining. So whilst that trades is open, what I would like to show you guys is actually the risk settings. So if you just click here on top bar account settings, and under risk management, so we've got really advanced risk management settings built into this platform. So over here, the risk management template, I'm trading freestyle, that's classified as high risk. But if you click on here, you've got no risk, low risk, and medium risk. And depending on what you guys, how you want to be trading, if you click on any of that, for instance, in example, medium risk, then the rest of these tables will pre-populate based on the risk type that you guys have typed in on the first tab. But for example, the daily stop loss. So this will basically trigger a timeout, and it will not allow you to trade after you've experienced X amount of losses. So often when we're trading and you're losing money and you're chasing that, you can become very irrational. So this basically allows you, let's say I've got 10 there. So if I have 10 consecutive losing trades, it will automatically block me out of the platform. And it basically ensures that the levels of cortisol in your body are reduced, and the rational part of your brain, the neocortex, continues to dictate your trading decisions. So this is really futuristic stuff. It's really very advanced in terms of the risk management that we've got built in here, and I really like this, and I think a lot of traders will really like these settings as well. There's a lot of other stuff that you can do over here. I'll let you guys go through that in your own time. And the other thing I want to show you under the trade ideas, you guys can turn on and off what ideas you want to get. And these trade ideas, which is in your account settings, basically would be appearing here on the left-hand side. So there I've just got a notification that that trade has closed out. And as you can see over here, I've won that trade. It's literally in 5 minutes, 72%, guys. It's really that easy. The platform,
we do want to be careful, Atul. We don't really take too much credit because we know you just did this randomly.
Yeah, absolutely. So of course,
I just want to make sure that we are careful with that.
Sorry, carry on, Hitesh.
No, so I want to clarify a couple of things, before we go into all of the settings, because there are a ton of different settings in here. The key part that we want to make sure is that you guys understand that this is ridiculously simple, because so one very important factor of what kind of decisions you make and what you do when it comes to anything financial is you should have some level of assurance and some level of understanding of how long you're going to be in something for. In this case, we know very, very well we're going in for 5 minutes, that's it. And you can actually do some very quick math and figure out that as long as you maintain a win rate, as long as you win, something like 57 to 58% of your trades, you're going to be fine, even with a 70% win payout rate and so on. There are different mathematical setups for this that you can calculate very, very easily. There's actually some tools for this back here as well. But this gives you a lot more basic predictability on knowing what you are doing, how long you're doing it for, and you don't have to make 100 different calculations with 20 different variables to figure out what you should do. You only have to figure out, will in general something move up, or will in general it move down for a fairly short period of time. Okay, so you can analyze that. And of course, these trades can last anywhere from 5 minutes to a few hours. You can change that based on what you feel most comfortable with or what kind of technical analysis you're doing. So to give you one very simple idea behind this is trading for the news. So you know that a news item is going to come out. Let's say some news that will affect the USD price in comparison to the euro price is going to come out. Let's say non-farm payroll, which is a very, very popular and very strong news item. You can simply wait and see what kind of news comes out, if it's positive or negative, and you know that in general, the price will trend in a particular direction for the next hour or so. You can take pretty significantly profitable trades during that time if you read the market well. And you can even take advantage of many other external signaling systems, technical analysis systems, and so on. So Spectre is dramatically different from many other brokers for this reason. In fact, if you don't mind, Achal, I'm going to take over the screen for just a second, and then I want you to walk them through all of the trade setups that exist back there, because I want to talk about these two very important things, which is trustlessness and outcome agnosticism. Okay, so these are very important things, and they sound like really fancy terms to make us sound smart. And frankly, honestly, that's why we use them, because they make us sound smarter than we are. But I want you to understand the meaning behind them and what we are actually doing with it. Okay, so a trustless system means that you don't have to trust us. Okay, so Spectre is built in a way that you do not have to rely on us or trust us to do the right thing. It is impossible for us to do the wrong thing. We can't actually access the funds. We can't mess around with the data. We don't gain anything from doing it. And the reason why we don't gain anything from having the traders not be successful is because of what's called outcome agnosticism. This means that our platform, as opposed to almost every other platform that exists that uses any kind of options trading, is outcome agnostic, meaning we do not care if you win or lose. We do not make money from you losing, just like other platforms do. So in our case, if you lose or win, it doesn't matter. Every single trade generates a 2% fee for Spectre platform. Okay, that's how Spectre makes its money. We want you guys trading, and we want you trading a whole lot, because that's how we generate any kind of income. But in other platforms, they kind of work like a casino, which means if you win a little bit too much, they're going to kick you out. If you win a whole lot, they're going to find a way to take those winnings away. And if you keep losing, you're going to get a lot of calls from them telling you, oh, you were so close, you should put in even more money. So we are completely different in that regard, and always will be different, primarily because of the way the system itself is set up. So the reason why there are so many risk settings, and we want you to be careful, and we are trying to protect you. We don't want you to overtrade. We don't want you to make mistakes. And the reason why we give you suggestions like trading ideas on what you can trade profitably on, and even news alerts and so on, which we will go into a whole series where we will actually be doing a lot of tutorials with you guys, showing you what are the best ways to trade. The reason why we do that is because we want you to trade a whole lot. We want you to succeed. We don't want you to just keep losing money all the time. Okay. And that puts us diametrically opposite of almost every other broker out there in terms of both the ethics behind what we are doing and as well as what it allows us to do for you, right? We now have a vested interest in making you succeed, not the other way around. So this might be a much better time, Atul, for you to actually share the trade ideas and how they work, and also show where the tutorials are placed so everybody can look at that. And right after this, guys, I would like to go a little bit into exactly how you can get started, what your next steps should be to go along with this. So actually, if you just want to show a couple trade ideas, I do want to give people the time to actually take action on this. And I also don't want people to spend, an hour and a half on the webinar with the two of us. So if you can just walk us through some of the trade ideas, that would be great.
Yeah, sure. So here on the left-hand side, as I mentioned earlier, you guys can see the trade idea panel. And if we just click on, let's say, GBP AUD, it actually explains what Cyrus is. And as I've mentioned, we've got a video over here where our head trader is also explaining what the actual indicator is and the entry point, etc. So it's really, all the tools are there for traders to utilize. And let's just so we're going to take a 60-minute trade on GBP AUD. I'm going to change the chart over here to 1 hour. And we're going to basically predict that it's going to be going up. So again, over here, we're putting in the ETH value of the actual trade, and it would automatically calculate that into dollar terms, so you can see exactly what it is over here. And I'm going to put 60 minutes over there. It's freestyle. It's going to have a 71% payout, and we'll just enter. Okay, so the demand can't be greater than $5. So one thing to note as well, guys, during 8 p.m. and 1 a.m. GMT, basically we've got restrictions on the trade sizes due to liquidity in the market. So the maximum trade size you can take on either account type is basically $5. So let me just, that's a $3 bet, 60 minutes, and that should go through. So that's gone through. So yeah, so just to note, during 1 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. GMT, the maximum trade size that you can take is $500 on normal FX pairs, and on cryptocurrency pairs, it's $250. And then between 8:30 p.m. and 1 a.m., the maximum that you can take on normal pairs, the maximum trade size ticket is $10, and on crypto is $5. The maximum amount of open positions you can have at any given time is 10 positions. And just to touch on, Hitesh, with regards to what you were saying earlier about outcome agnostic, I mean, that's a very important factor because, we're really on the trader sides, guys. And, our key objective is to empower you guys, empower all of the traders, and really give you guys all of the tools, resources that you need in order to sustain your trading account, and really to help you guys make stable profits and to give 100% transparency in all areas. The bottom line is, we want to make sure that you guys are making money on our platform. We want you to trade successfully. Right now, we are new in the market, and we need the word to spread amongst the trading communities globally, but especially in Europe, since there's a lot of traders scrambling right now, looking for new safe homes with the ESMA ban. And, some of you will know the ban comes into play the beginning of next month. So really, we want you guys to go out there to tell everyone about Spectre, how it's changing the online broker space forever, and bring them in their masses, because we are ready to service the market, and we'll continue to optimize our platform to ensure you guys have the best trading conditions and trading environment. And currently, we are spending a lot of investment and resources into a new UI as well for the platform, which will be launched in a few months. But the future of trading is definitely here. And we're ready to drain the swamp with all the dodgy, scammy brokers which have been scamming the traders for years. You guys have seen how easy it is to generate the returns on digital smart options within minutes, how easy the platform is to use. And again, we really want to get as many traders on the platform as possible and build a powerful community to empower the traders. And hopefully you guys can help us blaze the trail as we begin to pioneer the space. So I don't know if you want to mention anything else on the platform, Hitesh, but we'll open up the floor to Q&A soon. And I really encourage all of you to go open a live account now. We're going to open up the floor to Q&A, and Hitesh will also talk you guys through in terms of how easy it is to get an account. And on top of that, we're also going to be giving away, which Hitesh will touch on as well, $5,000 to the trader with the highest volume for this month. So, go open a live account now, guys. So I'll hand it over to yourself, Hitesh.
Thank you. So thanks for that really nice, very entertaining also presentation. I know the entertainment was not the primary goal, but regardless, thank you. Okay, so we're getting a lot of questions about, okay, I want to get started. How do I create my account and so on and so forth. We're going to go through all of that. Before we get into all of that, I do want to clarify two things, okay, which is going to cause a little bit of a mad rush. So get ready, okay? So any of you who are proficient with your keyboard and mouse usage, please get ready, because we have actually hit the limit of the seats that were allowed to be on our webinar. There are literally thousands of people who are already registered on this platform. And here's what we are doing actually to get this moving very, very quickly. So for the next 100 users who create an account on Spectre, they do their KYC and verify their account, they will receive $100 worth of ETH in their account immediately, just so that you can start trading right now. Okay, before you even deposit anything else, you can just start trading immediately with that $100. And this is an actual, real $100 worth of ETH. The idea is really to help you kickstart your trading immediately, because we really, really believe in the platform, and we really believe you guys are going to benefit from this. And this $100 will be withdrawable after you have done $5,000 worth of trading. Okay, so whatever funds you deposit yourself, that's fine. That's all yours. You can keep trading with it. This $100 is really there to help you speed up the process and get going pretty much right away. But this is very limited, and it's for the first 100 users who do a KYC and verify their account in basically the next first come first serve basis. Okay, so while we're doing the Q&A, for those of you who are actually interested in trading and are actually interested in benefiting from this industry, you guys should actually get in there and start going through the process. The KYC process takes about, so Atul, you did the KYC process. How long did it take you to do it?
Yeah, literally about 3-4 minutes really. And on the regular account, like I say, we actually going to be doing instant verification. So it's really under 5 minutes they can be up and running.
All right. So Atul, it took him less than 5 minutes, but he's faster than most of us. So it'll probably take you about 7 minutes. But so you should be good to go in about 7 minutes and actually have a funded trading account to work with. And what we would really like for you to do is go in there and just play around a little bit and see how this trade actually plays out, how the trading works, how the platform flows. You'll see that it is probably going to be the easiest platform you have ever used and the easiest type of trading you have ever done. And additionally, the trader with the highest volume at the end of this month will receive $5,000 cash reward as well. Now, I want to clarify this because I want to make sure this is very clear. We're not talking about somebody who comes in and deposits the highest amount of money. We're talking about a person who comes in and does the highest volume in trading. So for example, if somebody comes in here and deposits $100,000 and takes one trade of $5,000, their total trading volume is 5,000 in that case. Okay, but if somebody comes in and only deposits $1,000 but does 100 trades of $100 each, that's $10,000 worth of trading volume. Okay, so the trading volume is the number of trades taken multiplied by the average trade size. Okay, that's what we mean by the highest trading volume. So the person who gets the most of that, which means you don't need a very high amount of volume to high deposit to do that. You just need to be consistent and trade fairly regularly. Look for the market opportunities where you can trade, where you can make pretty easy decisions on what's moving up and down, and you'll be able to be one of the people in the running very, very easily. And we will basically be announcing that award at the end of the month as well. This is in addition to the $100 promo. For those of you who are asking, I already see the questions coming in. For those of you who are asking, this is in addition to the $100 promo that I just outlined. That's for everybody who does it amongst the first 100 in the next few hours, hopefully, since we have that many, more than that many on this call itself. So hopefully that clarifies all of that. Now, during this time, if there are any more questions, we will address those. Okay, very quickly, Achol, I would like you to put your screen share on one more time. Okay, I'm going to give you the presentation. I would like you to go through the process and show them where to register and where to the KYC. So guys, first of all, you want to go to spectre.ai website. For those of you who do not have an account yet, go to spectre.ai.
Can you see my screen, Hitesh?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay.
Okay, so this is spectre.ai. You want to go here, you want to click on trade now. and
Yeah, and then you
register.
got, so this is all you guys are doing. It's really just filling in your name, email, password, and then you'll confirm the password.
Yep. So this is about
And
30-second process for mortals like us and about 10 seconds for someone like Atul. But you should be done with this in about 30 seconds or so. You'll receive an email, verified, and then go in your account that you just created. Atul, can you please go into your account?
actually, I don't. I don't actually have. I mean, I was trying to locate the email, so apologies for that. But I don't actually have the email.
That's fine.
That
I think
we get.
anybody who is on this call who wants to work with smart options should be able to figure out the email that will come from Spectre, and it'll say, hey, click here to verify your account. So verify your account and then log into it. So go ahead and go into your main account, please. And please show them where they will do their KYC process. Under the settings side, they can basically walk through the KYC. Now, guys, I want to clarify, there are some restrictions, okay? As much as we want everybody in the world to be able to do this, there are a few restrictions. Nobody from...
Hitesh, sorry to interrupt. Yeah, my account is created already, so I don't believe it's got that panel to actually talk them through that
Yeah, that's
KYC
fine.
process.
Just show them where it'll happen. So you click on the plus sign there to add a new account. When you're in trading accounts, you'll click there. It's very, very self-explanatory once you start going through the process. And you will select over here regular if you want to trade like a regular account, which is the easiest one to trade with. You would basically say, yeah, I want to trade with a regular account. And it's going to say, okay, now we need some information from you. And it's going to just ask for the standard information that any financial platform does. It's going to ask you for your name, some form of identification to confirm you are who you say you are, your country of residence, and some documentation to support that you are actually a resident or citizen of the country that you say you are. That's all. It's a very, very quick process. And as soon as you're done with that process, you will see the extra ETH in your account, which you can start trading right away, like I just explained. And then you can also add additional ETH to start trading at a bigger volume if you would like, to start trading a lot more if you would like. I do want to take a second to also make sure that everybody understands that in the case that you take a trade and you lose that trade, you lose the amount that you wagered for that trade, just like happens in the case of a bet. So you want to be very careful. You do not want to come in here and start taking very large trade sizes if you are not comfortable with it. Okay, so if those trade sizes are too high for you, do not risk anything more than you can afford to lose comfortably while trading. We don't want anybody to take risks like that. We actually built this whole platform to be the safest trading environment in the world. So we absolutely want you to be very careful with that. Only trade with what you can afford to lose. Don't trade with very high amounts or amounts that are risky for you. Okay. If you participated in the token sale, Paul, you still have to do the KYC. The trader KYC is completely different from the investor KYC that occurred in the past. Okay, going to the next one, the currently prohibited countries. So US is completely prohibited. Nobody from the United States is allowed to trade on here, pretty much like most other platforms in the world. We are working constantly on making that happen. We have to go through a lot of regulatory environment for that, but currently we have no timeline on when we would be able to have US users in here. Currently, temporarily, we also have restrictions on UK and Cuba, which will likely be removed. Those restrictions will be removed in the coming few weeks. But right now, UK, Cuba, and US are restricted. Those are the only three countries primarily restricted, other than the ones that are restricted by default. Atul, you can see the questions as well. There are a lot of other questions.
Is your screen on or my screen on at the moment, Hitesh?
It's your screen on right now.
Do you want to take it back to your screen? I'll just open up these questions as well.
Sure, that's fine. And is this legal in India to trade in Spectre? Yes, you can trade. We are able to accept anybody from India. You can trade on Spectre if you are from India. That's not a problem. Again, however, you guys are responsible for reporting any gains you make on the platform, for reporting on any taxation side. That's kind of dependent on your jurisdiction. So just check on that yourself. But India should not be a problem. I do know that we have a lot of users from India on here already. Do you make money when I lose? We make the exact same amount whether you win or lose. We make 2% when a trade is executed. And whatever happens with the outcome of that trade is of no, like it doesn't affect us in that way. We make 2% regardless. So for example, when you take a trade of $100, Spectre is going to receive a $2 fee on that trade, whether you win or lose. Okay, so that's entirely irrelevant to us. That's part of the reason why we actually want you to win, right? We don't generate income only when you lose, which is what happens with other platforms, which happens with casinos and so on. So yeah, you don't have to worry about that with us. Can we add custom indicators to the platform? Okay, just one moment, Linda. So we have a few other people asking about the process and how to go through it. Okay, Achol, we're going to go through the process one more time because we still have a lot of people who want to get on and they want to register. So you're going to go to spectre.ai. It's not spectre.com. It's spectre.ai.
You can see my screen, Hitesh?
Yes, I can still see your screen.
Okay. So here you guys are just clicking register now. Once you click trade now on the home page, and as we've explained before, you guys are just filling out this form, which takes literally 30 seconds. And then from here, you guys would get an automated email in your inbox. You guys would click the link to verify that email. And then that would bring you into the actual platform itself, where you would go to do the KYC process under the account setting tab. Hitesh, we also got questions coming through on how to deposit. Did you just want to go through that as well?
Yes, sure. So once you have your regular account created, just like you see on the screen right there, you see Atoll has a regular account created with the wallet address. You will have your wallet address like that, and you would basically just send ETH into that account. Okay, so if you have ETH, how many of you actually, let's just ask, how many of you are familiar with Ethereum and have it, who are on the call right now? Okay, so about 50-50. So about half the people have it or are familiar with it. Some of you are not. Okay, so ETH is the cryptocurrency on which the platform runs. Okay, and the reason why we use ETH, which is Ethereum, the reason why we use it is because it allows us to basically implement the smart contracts. And the smart contracts let us make sure that nobody can mess with the things in the background, that everything is stored on the ledger, that basically it allows Spectre to do the things that we are talking about, right? It allows us to make sure that Spectre cannot grab the funds that are sitting in there, and it allows everybody to have a very transparent look at what is occurring at all times. Okay, so that is why we use it. It's kind of a necessity to trade on Spectre at the moment. Now we are working on something very unique, which will actually take this to a whole new level where you'll be able to trade even without ETH. We are working on that right now. However, you can acquire ETH on practically any exchange. It is a cryptocurrency with second or third, depending on the day, total market cap. It's the second highest, most popular cryptocurrency at the moment. So you can acquire it from many, many different exchanges. If you have an account on any real exchange, you can get ETH from there. And then you can send ETH to the wallet address here, and it'll be deposited in the smart contract under your account, and you'll be able to trade with it pretty much right away. So it's a very simple process. If you already have ETH, you'll be given the wallet address, you send it over there, and you're good to go. If you do not have ETH to you right now, and if you want to purchase ETH, then you can purchase ETH from any of the popular exchanges. You can use a service like Coinbase, you can use Binance, you can use whatever platform that you currently are already familiar with or have an account with. You can get it from there. We will also be putting together a list of recommended places that you could get ETH from. And for those of you who are asking, is an external ETH wallet compatible? Yes. So you can also have an external ETH wallet. So you can choose to never send any funds in, which is you never deposit any funds into the platform at all. You can just connect your freestanding Ethereum address to the platform and trade from it as well. However, you have to make sure that it is not an exchange's account. It cannot be the wallet address of an exchange. It has to be the wallet address that is freestanding. So like my Ether wallet or something similar. You can use MetaMask as well. So you cannot have a Coinbase Ethereum wallet or a Binance Ethereum address and use that in here directly, because it'll just reject it, and you're then essentially trading from their account, not your account. So please make sure that you have a freestanding Ethereum wallet if you're going to choose to do that. Could a pump and dump group? Okay, this is a very good question. Could a pump and dump group conspire to raise the price of a crypto and also go into Spectre trading and do the same pump and dump in a bet to beat the system? Okay, yes and no, and I'll explain why this is so outrageously difficult to pull off. Okay, so let's say a pump and dump group gets together and says, first of all, the currencies that we allow the trading of, the cryptocurrencies that we allow trading of in Spectre are a limited number that we know have stable volume. Okay, so they are not susceptible to a pump and dump of the kind that you're referring to. Those tend to happen on exchanges with low liquidity, with very small market capitalizations of altcoins that don't really have that much popularity. But the ones that we use on here have relatively stable volume. Okay, so that's hard to pull off already. But for a group to go out and spend, let's say, $15 million to try and move the price of Ripple up really high so that they can take some trades on our side at the same time, also means that they now risk tremendously losing money on their real trades. So really the logistics of that make it almost impossible to do. So that's not something that we would be very concerned about. And again, that's why we're very careful about which currencies we allow in this platform, which currencies we allow to be pulled in, because it's just one of those risks that we want to be careful with. Okay, I'm looking to enter my country, UK. It's not there. So like I just stated, UK, US, and Cuba are currently restricted. UK will likely be allowed in the next few weeks. We will announce the update on that as soon as it comes, as soon as it happens. But right now, UK is restricted. So you can actually take demo trades. You can log in the platform with a demo account. You can trade a little bit. You can familiarize yourself with it, but you won't be able to do live trading with it quite yet. What pairs of crypto do you have on your platform? So the easiest way is actually to just log into your demo account and scroll down on the left side. So Achol, if you want to just scroll down on the left side where we have the payout information, you can see all the assets in there. And you'll see we have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dash, Ripple, I believe is on there. And just scroll down all the way, you'll see a few others in there as well. Litecoin is in there, and you have gold, silver, Bitcoin, and there you go. So you have, and Monero is in there as well. So you have more than enough cryptocurrencies that you can trade with. I don't think you need a whole lot more than this yet. And again, as there are currencies that gain enough traction in the marketplace, that have enough volume and enough 24-hour volume, especially that have active trading on it, as soon as we see that being the case, we would definitely look at adding them in as well. Are you going to record this webinar? So yes, we are recording this webinar, and we will actually try to get this replay out because, in fact, like I said, we actually hit the limit. There is a whole lot of excitement about Spectre right now. Like Achol was saying, this is a very disruptive technology, and we had more people attempt to get on the webinar than the GoToWebinar software could hold. So well over, I would say probably 300 people attempted to get on the webinar who could not get on the webinar because we had hit our cap. So we're actually going to be putting out a replay, so you will be able to see this for future reference as well, and we will be emailing out the replay for everyone. All right, and Kevin says that he was up 20 minutes early to try and get on here, and he's still going to get on, and that's why you should have woken up 40 minutes early. But yes, unfortunately, we did back out before anybody had a chance to get on. When do we anticipate cassette implementation? So cassette is the fiat solution that I'd referred to. We are working on that right now. We will announce that as soon as we have the full details on that. Like I mentioned, that's really the next level of innovation then, because then we move past even just using Ethereum. We will have all the benefits of the Ethereum platform. We will have the smart contracts, the smart implementations that we're using right now, but we would have none of these restrictions that people are working with. All right, so Paul says this worked great. It worked for me. I finished the KYC and I received the $100 worth of ETH. Awesome. We're glad that you have it, and I hope you have a lot of fun trading with it, and I hope that you win a whole lot with it as well. Okay, I think I've answered everything. Unfortunately, there's a lot of questions still coming in, but guys, we've actually gone over a time. We're already over an hour in. So we're going to try and close the webinar out here very soon. We're going to answer the last 3 questions quick, and then we will get going. So why are there limitations with the UK? What are the specific problems? They're just simple regulatory things. So when to accept users from specific countries, we have to go through some regulatory and licensing situations, and we are working on them. And some countries are faster than others to get that done. And UK and Cuba are ones that are just taking a little bit longer, but we should be done pretty soon. I don't think Cuba is very big on the radar right now anyway, but we will have UK pretty soon. Okay, are you guys going to launch smartphone apps? Yes, those are already in the works, but again, you don't need them right now. The site is already mobile compliant, so you can actually go in here on your phone and start working on it right away. And the final question, okay, let's pick one. Atul, do you see a question that I have missed or that?
Yeah, actually, I think there's a couple of people that were asking, one actually from Gus, can we do a separate webinar on how to create a standalone ETH wallet, or can you just talk us through
Guys,
quickly again?
We'll do you one better. We'll do you one better, actually. So instead of just doing a webinar that only addresses that one issue, which I think is a waste of time for you to register for a webinar and come on a webinar just for that one thing, we're actually going to prepare a really nice guide on how to do that exactly. I'm going to put it right in your Spectre back office. So you can create your account, log in there, and we're going to get a video in there for you that'll walk you through, here is how you get your standalone ETH wallet. I can give you the short version right now, which I think will suffice given the level of people we have on this call actually, and from what I can tell just from the questions so far. I think you guys will be able to figure it out pretty easily. You can go to a website like My Ether Wallet, which is the most prominent and the best website, honestly, to use right now to create a free Ethereum wallet. You can also use the MetaMask extension if you're using Chrome, which is an extension that you can install on your browser, and that will give you access to your wallets as well. But if you go to My Ether Wallet, you'll be able to create your own standalone free Ethereum wallet, and you can use that. You can use that address for all of your Ethereum related activities in the future. Okay, so I think we have addressed pretty much everything. And
just one thing, Hitesh, just on the last question there, Fabio is asking the $100 on that we're giving to the people, the first 100 to open up their account and get KYC. It is on demo. Just to confirm, Fabio, it is on live account that we will be depositing that $100 into for the first 100 that get that opens the account and it basically gets KYC approved.
Yeah, it's real money, Fabio. It is not just demo money. It's actual real Ethereum that will be in your account. You can trade with it. The idea is really to help you kickstart your trading immediately because we don't want you to have to wait. Just switch from the demo to your live account and you will see the 100 on there as well. Okay, so you see how Atul is changing from demo. If you click on that drop down, you can change to your regular. You can do that as well. Alrighty, guys. I think we have answered a whole bunch of questions. We are 5 minutes over when we were supposed to close the webinar, and we're going to actually hold another webinar like this. These are a lot of fun at least for me. I think Atul also enjoys them a little bit, or will try to enjoy them more. Hopefully you guys can, if you guys appreciate him more in the comments, he'll probably enjoy it a lot more. So we're going to have Atul and me on these kind of webinars a little bit more often, and we'll get you guys more answers next time. And actually we're hoping, and if there's enough demand, honestly, we'll probably try to come up with a really nice promotion for the next week as well. So hope you guys enjoyed this webinar. I think it was kind of fun, and we will see you guys next time.
Cheers, guys. Take care.